Welcome back to the official GeekSpeak Podcast. And I've stopped saying the episode number in the intro because I inevitably forget and get it wrong. I'm your host, Sean, and joined as always is my co-host, Josh. New year, same job, Rudy Rudolph. This is the podcast where we watch movies, make movies, play games, and more. What else can you ask for? It has been so long.
I mean, yeah, but that's part of adulting.
We last recorded on November 30th, 2022. It is now February 3rd, 2023.
You know, we could just lie and just not say when we're recording, because they'll never know. I
think based on what this episode's content is, it'll be pretty clear, considering this episode is a bunch of news. We skipped all of December and all of January, but not on purpose. I moved across the country and am now 3 hours apart from Josh, so scheduling this will be even harder from now on.
I'm also now working 40 hours a week, so it makes doing stuff like this more challenging to figure out scheduling-wise.
It's so fun. Now, most episodes we go through a different Disney Channel original movie, or DCOM for short. And we will see how in a short period of time, the biggest media company on Earth caters towards solely children with a large sample size, and we'll see quality changes, etc. through these DCOMs. But today is not that day. And we also usually have a thing at the end called a super weird story, where I talk to Josh about something in comic books or comic book culture or superhero culture that's a little out of the norm, weird, outdated, or just fascinating. And I have him blind react to it. It could be something incredibly problematic, like our first episode, or it could be something incredibly wholesome, which we had before as well, or just fun, like we had a story about the swordsman. Back when we had a character, back when we had the guest Bueller on, we talked about the character of the swordsman, and that was a very interesting story, I'd say. And so that's kind of what that vibe is. And again, today is not that day because there's too much to talk about.
There is quite a bit to talk about because a lot's been happening in the world of pop culture and movies and stuff for the past 2 months.
If this is your first episode, this is not the normal kind of episode we do because, like I just said, we have our segments. But this episode, no main topic, no super weird story, no decom, just news. All of the biggest news from December 1st until now. I had to be very selective about it because I left out normally when we were week to week. I include a lot more fun, silly, small things. But this is not. I couldn't do that. There's too much that happens and too little time. So, without further ado, let's get into this shit show that is all of time for these past 2 months. Oh boy. I had it color-coded. I had to color-code my notes in sections. Because I have 6 pages of freaking notes, Josh.
That's quite a bit.
Let's start with movies released. So in December, we got some good movies, I'd say.
Yep.
We got the Encanto at the Hollywood Bowl Disney Plus special. Like a little sing-along thing.
Yeah, I think it was cool. Like the cast of the movie played their characters like live, which is a fun idea.
We got Matilda the Musical on Netflix now.
Great movie. Absolutely loved it.
We got officially released Glass Onion on Netflix, which our last episode is about Glass Onion when we saw it in November.
Back in theaters, which it should have been. I'm still pissed about that.
We saw Babylon, which we'll talk about a little bit more toward the Oscar discussion, because that should be more in that discussion.
Mm-hmm.
We saw, there was Women Talking. There's Wildcat came out, which looks really fun, honestly, and really heartwarming. I've not seen it yet. Did you watch the Whitney Houston I Want to Dance with Somebody movie?
I had absolutely no interest in watching it after Elvis because I'm so done with music biopics. And from the trailers, it just looked like another one. And like, there's nothing against, the people that make them, but writers that make these. Can you not just do something different? Like, just focus it on one section of their lives. Just do that. We don't need to see their whole lives. And also, how are all their lives seemingly the same, where they go through the exact same problems as all other major music stars?
We also got Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which is also nominated for Best Animated Feature, which we'll get to soon again.
So good.
It's apparently a very good movie. I've not seen it yet. I'm seeing it like this next week, but
I'm very happy Spider-Verse opened the door for doing different forms of animation for animated movies. It's not just either hyper-realistic or just like somewhat cartoonish, but now they're just like, screw the realism, we're going to have fun.
We also got the Violet Evergarden Recollections, I think, movie is what it is. We got the Felice Navidad Simpsons special, a Netflix movie called Private Lesson. Avatar: The Way of Water, which we'll get into in a minute. We got a movie called High Heat. We got Night at the Museum, Kamen Ramen Rises Again, an animated film with Zachary Levi in it. Weird.
They released a trailer for that like a few days before it came out, which just kind of goes to show like how much faith they had in it.
I also realized I just said Kamen Ramen. He's not a ramen noodle. It's Kamen Ra. Sorry. Whatever. We got Del Toro's Pinocchio this past December, which we'll get into again soon. I enjoyed that quite a bit. We got Empire of Light, which has mixed reactions, but
many.
December happened, and we've had movies now in December. I think overall, a good list of movies came out in December. And we're forgetting a ton because there's so many movies come out all the time. We also have some stuff in January.
Every major January release that came to theaters, I really enjoyed. So, Missing, Plane, A Man Called Otto, and what's it called? Megan.
The Sun.
Or Mithrigan. All those
Megan
major releases were so good, which very much surprised me. Like, Plane was probably the one I was like, this is going to be the worst, and it was really fun, which surprised me.
So yeah, we got all those. We got the Tubi original called The Assistant. We got Alice Darling. We got The Sun. The Tomorrow Job on, was it Prime or something? I don't know what it was on.
I don't know.
But that came out too. Movies keep coming out, Josh.
There's so many streaming movies that came out that I either haven't heard of or have had no interest in watching lately.
You mean like The Dog Lover's Guide to Dating, which is an actual movie that came out in January?
Fascinating.
We also got The Third Guest, which is a horror movie, and The Deleter. I don't know what that's about.
I've never heard of these.
Well, have you heard of the movie, where is it? Electric Appalachia?
Where are you finding these?
I think we both had a really good time watching Mithrigan.
Yes.
And I've been catching up a lot more on some 2022 movies too that I missed in theaters. Like I just last night watched Triangle of Sadness, which we'll get into again in the Oscar discussion in a minute, because that's relevant. So movies did come out, Josh, these past 2 months.
Weird that they do that. I don't know why.
And then 2 episodes from now, we'll probably be doing our Ant-Man Quantumania discussion, which is crazy. That's so soon. But now we're past the movie release section to here is some non-specific movie news.
Non-specific.
Let's talk about Fast X first off. We have news that we're getting our first trailer for Fast X or Fast 10 February 10th. So in 7 days, we're getting the Fast X trailer. What are your thoughts?
They better show Jason Momoa, they better show Brie Larson, they better show these new characters, and they better tease Gal Gadot coming back to life.
Yeah, Gal's coming back. I know she died. I watched one of those where she died. So.
Most major core members, if they've died, they are either coming back or they are already back, which I find very funny.
That's nonsense, Josh.
This whole series is nonsense, and that's why it's cinema.
We'll have to have our mutual Marley on, who loves Fast and the Furious, because I have watched the movies one time, and it was a blur. They're all the same movie to me. It's one movie.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
We went from DVD players to
going to space. It's the natural progression.
And Hobbs and Shaw being superheroes.
Exactly, the natural progression.
So that's our Fast X news pieces. Gal Gadot's returning as Giselle, and we have the February 10th is the first trailer. Yay or nay on that news?
I give it a hard yay. The first poster for it is already going so hard, I can't wait.
Similarly with Fast and the Furious members, we do have Dwayne Johnson news. With we got a picture of him and J.K. Simmons in Red One, a new Santa Claus film where J.K. Simmons is playing Santa Claus.
I'm down for him playing Santa. I'm down for Dwayne and Chris Evans to team up. But when I saw the title as Red One, I feared that this was like a Red Notice prequel of some kind.
Have you seen the poster or the picture I'm referring to?
Yes, I have, and I love it.
What is with the Kurt Russell, David Harbour, the Mel Gibson kind of Santa Claus now?
Have you never seen Santa before? He is a badass.
The all leather outfit. That's crazy. And I like the little stocking beanie instead of his traditional hat. That's fun. It looks fun. I like seeing J.K. Simmons in almost anything. Dwayne Johnson, I can take or leave, but whatever. Again, non-specific movie news. Steven Spielberg is cool, right?
Yeah, he's fine.
John Williams is cool, right?
I guess.
We recently covered on the podcast that he was going to be retiring, which is a very sad thing, correct?
Indeed.
However, John Williams now says that he wants to keep scoring Steven Spielberg's movies even after previously announcing his retirement. So for Spielberg, he'll keep scoring things. Not anyone else.
I'm fine with this.
I am too. As long as Spielberg's doing it, why can't John Williams? Sounds good. Yay.
Yay.
Our last non-specific movie news. And it has to do with Avatar, The Way of Water.
Oh,
a movie that is already out.
It has been, yes.
So, it has now become the 4th highest grossing movie of all time, passing The Force Awakens.
I haven't said it on the podcast yet, but I would love to know how high it would actually go if 95% of the showings weren't in 3D, and if it didn't get a release in China like all the other major blockbusters haven't been for the past several years. I would be very curious to see how much it actually would make.
Or if this came out 2 years after the first one, where it's not we have to see what happens next kind of idea. Because the 10+ year wait makes it so more people got excited. Well, it's got to wait so long. We have to see why it waited so long, But if that wasn't part of the effect, I wonder if it would do worse. I don't think it's worth $2 billion plus.
No,
personally.
We'll get into this when we get into the Oscar stuff. But long story short, I hate it.
Josh hates cinema, apparently.
Yes, cinema, I hate it. I wish I never went to film school. I hate movies. My wall of movies can burn. Yes, I hate them.
Someone please clip that out of context and make that our new theme song.
Please do.
Oh, that is the end of our non-specific movie news segment, Josh. Wasn't it wonderful?
The most wonderful.
Now let's get into musical movie news.
Musicals? Where they do the singing and the dancing?
So, believe it or not, we actually have 4 news pieces about musical movies.
I think I know what one of them is.
So, Wicked is a movie coming out.
It's going to be 2.
Wicked is a movie based on a Broadway musical, based on a book, based on a movie, based on a book. There are 5 based-ons in this.
Look, again, it's the natural cycle.
I don't think you know what that word means, Josh.
Look, words, you just put letters together and noises happen, and it's just you know what? That makes sense.
So have you seen Wicked on stage?
I did back in 2014. I saw it in Richmond, actually.
I saw it in New York.
I'm Sean. I went to New York. Hey.
The best part about movie adaptations of musicals is it makes it available for a widespread audience, because theater is very gatekeepy and very privileged in general, honestly.
It's very expensive.
It's very expensive. I happened to get a free ticket pretty much because of something that happened, and that was wonderful, but that's not how everyone works. But we're getting a movie version. A 2-part movie version, which is nonsense.
I'm so curious what they're adding to it to justify it being 2 parts.
But the first news piece about this is we have Michelle Yeoh of Now Everything Ever All at Once fame. And of course, many, many other things that she does amazing. But she is now playing Madame Morrible. Morrible in John M. Chu's Wicked movies. Which, if you're not aware, is the headmistress kind of character who is in charge of the academy, and she's the one who does a lot of singing.
Does a lot of singing?
She's the one character who sings in Wicked, totally.
No one else sings. No one. And
she makes Elphaba meet with the wizard, all that kind of thing in the show. So I love that casting. I think she's phenomenal and everything. I don't think I've ever heard her sing before, so
I don't think I have either.
But I'm down for it.
I'm down for this whole cast. I'm like, all right, let's see where this goes. I'm very curious.
Now, speaking of casting for Wicked, we have more. 4 more casting
James Corden?
Not yet. I definitely think he'll be Dr. Dillamond, though. Without a doubt. I think he's going to be cast.
He's gonna be cast just because people were like, don't cast, and they're like, well, we're gonna cast him even harder now.
He'll be like Dr. Dillamond, which is the goat man. That's just what's gonna happen. But we have 4 new casting announcements for John M. Chu's Wicked movies. We don't know who they're playing yet, but Marissa Bode, Bowen Yang, Bronwyn James, and Keala Settle. Oh, and Colin Michael Carmichael. So 5 people, actually, my bad, have been cast in John M. Chu's Wicked movies. And Keala Settle, you'll all probably know from Greatest Showman. She also was in Waitress. She was the bearded woman in Greatest Showman.
Oh, okay.
And this is a great cast. I am super excited. I don't know all these actors specifically, but like everything I've heard about this is good news. Bowen Yang, I just saw recently in Bros. He was in that.
Every clip I've seen of him from Saturday Night Live, he's very funny, so I'm excited to see what he's like in the musical.
I don't want that he was Eugene Lee Yang.
Look, that whole sketch, everyone... look, it's no. That whole sketch was a no.
Exactly, but that's a mess. But this casting is really fun. I don't know who they're going to be playing yet, but I'm, again, really excited because this is fantastic. So, yay?
Yay.
Yay on Michelle Yeoh as well?
Yes.
Oh, I meant to ask before. Yay or nay on Avatar Way of Water getting 4th highest grossing movie of all time?
I know there's people that'll say yay. I say nay just to make them mad.
That's your reasoning?
Look, it is a technical achievement, and any movie making that amount of money is amazing. But again, the circumstances were definitely twisted to allow it to get to that point.
I will also say that if you're new to the podcast, our yays and nays actually mean nothing. And we can change them on a dime.
Exactly.
And we also can say, I often have nayed his yays just to make him upset. So It's whatever. We also have Mean Girl musical movie news, which is a very funny sentence to me because Mean Girls, if you're not aware, is a Broadway musical based on the movie Mean Girls. And now we're getting a movie of the musical based on the movie.
So now I'm just curious, like, well, obviously they'll be adapting the musical, but like, will they be taking any elements from the movie? And would you consider it a remake of the movie at that point?
It is not a remake of the movie, no. I think it'll be mostly an adaptation of the show. It's written and produced by Tina Fey. Angry Rice, who we have seen in Spider-Man, No Way Home, Far From Home, all the homes, Patrick Mahomes. We have seen her as Betty Brant, and she is now playing Candy in this. Well, I've never seen Mean Girls, so I'm not the best person for this. We also getting Ali Cravalho, who is in Moana as Moana, and she's in the show Rise as lead girl. I've seen that season. It's okay. It had Ted Mosby in it, Josh Radnor.
I know what you're talking about. I never watched it, but I remember the trailers for it.
It was better than Glee, but actually, I will stand by Glee is funnier, and I had enjoyed myself more.
Okay, but is Glee funnier on purpose?
They know what they're doing, so yes.
That's true.
But Ali Cravalho is in this as well as Jaquel Spivey and Renee Rapp, who starred as Regina George on the Broadway musical. They're returning back again. Rice will be playing Candy, originally played by Lindsay Lohan. Actually, that's what I just found out. Rapp will be reprising her role as Regina. Ali Cravalho will be playing Janice, and Spivey will be Damien, originally played by Lizzie Kaplan and Daniel Franzese, respectively.
Oh no, and Angori's character's name, it's Katie. This is a running joke of it. It's not Caddy, it's Katie. Don't ask me why. Just watch the movie.
No, I misread it as Candy completely, so that's my bad. I've not seen the movie. I thought it said Candy because I'm hungry.
Well, then, watch the movie. It's good.
Nicolas Cage, Josh.
Cagey boy.
Also, yay or nay on the Mean Girls extra cast members now.
I give yay.
I give nay because it's going to Paramount Plus.
The fuck it is? What?
Yeah, that's what it's original. It's going to be a Paramount Plus original.
Those fucking morons.
Josh hates streaming movies when it should be in theaters.
This is an obvious, easy one to put in theaters and make money. Why would they be this stupid?
So Nicolas Cage wants to be in a musical. He says, I haven't done a musical yet. I think I'd make a good Pontius Pilate. I don't know how to pronounce the character's name.
Pontius Pilate?
Thank you. I'm always bad at pronounce. I don't know why I always mess it up. In Jesus Christ Superstar. And
I love that's the
you know
one
what?
which he chooses.
I would not be opposed to that, but also, why that role? Why that show?
Look, he's Nicolas Cage. He can do what he wants. He can do no wrong.
Make him the wizard in Wicked.
Oh, look, if any musical he's in, I will pay to see.
Actually, he should be Dr. Dillamon, the goat man in Wicked. I would love that.
Yeah, but
so
then James
much.
Corden would be the wizard. Do you want James Corden to be the wizard?
I want James Corden as Elphaba. That'd be really funny.
I would love to see the carpool karaoke. No, not carpool karaoke. Sidewalk the musical of him doing Wicked. just gyrating on the car as Elphaba.
So, for those who don't know, I am now in Los Angeles. If I see James Corden blocking my damn car while I'm trying to drive, the traffic here is so bad. Why are you stopping traffic here even longer?
It's because, have you never wanted to perform a musical on the sidewalk?
No, because I'm not an idiot. Not he's an idiot, again, for legal reasons, making a joke. But seriously, what is happening?
Because why not?
We have awards, Josh. We have a whole awards section. I colored it purple on my notes.
Because awards are purple.
So yay to Nick Cage wanting to do a musical?
Yay for Nick Cage and everything. I am very excited for Renfield.
Oh, me too. I love that Nicholas Hoult could be in 2 Dracula movies back to back as Nosferatu.
The timing of that is perfect.
So the Golden Globes happened.
Oh yeah, they did. This time it was televised.
It was. I was playing the Domino's game Mexican Train as my phone was blowing up. And I kept having to stop the game with my family and my girlfriend saying, wait, I must listen to Ke Huy Kwan's speech because it was beautiful.
For the train wreck that show could have been, it was actually, very good. Not just, the awards that were given out, but, the show overall. And Jared Carmichael as host, he held nothing back, and it was great.
But most people I know didn't know it was happening until it happened.
Yeah.
And I wish it was, advertised a bit more.
Look, last year, they didn't even televise it at all or really say when it was happening. They were like, by the way, here's who wins.
I know we did. We talked about how we had the whole secret Golden Globes, and Jamie Lee Curtis was one of the only people. It was her and Arnold Schwarzenegger or something.
Yeah,
as the only guests, which was so funny to me. Because they're best buds.
I mean, they did. I guess they did True Lies together, but still.
We also got the Oscars. But before I talk about the Oscars, I want to break down some stuff from the Game Awards quickly because that's quick and easy. The Game Awards happened. And that happens every year. Multiverses won Best Fighting Game at the Game Awards, which I think is pretty cool. Looks really fun. Elden Ring won Game of the Year, which is not surprising, and Josh is still not beaten it yet.
I'm still salty on it. Not just the game, but it winning Game of the Year.
Really?
I do not think it's a bad game. Do not mistake my words.
Do not mistaken?
Yes. But for me personally, and this is my personal taste and preference, but when it comes to a game like that, where a story is there, but it's not really present, and you have to either make one yourself or find one yourself, it's a bit, it doesn't hook me enough for, I can't really word this correctly, but God of War Ragnarok was my game of the year, and the one that I think not deserves it more, but I think that would mean more if it won, because the story it told and the way it told it was so just perfect in how it did it, and Elden Rings, it's a good game, no denying that, but I feel like that, 5 or so years down the line, people aren't going to remember it for its story or much of other aspects like that. And again, I could be eating my words in 5 years. Who knows? But again, that's just me.
But also, I disagree with Josh that I don't think story matters much in games in the first place.
You are wrong!
No, I don't. I think there's merit to having story in a game, but I think that gameplay trumps story in every circumstance for me.
It depends on the game. If you're actively telling a story, then you have to make sure your story and your characters are strong, just like the gameplay and the world that it's in. But Tetris. If you put a story to that, I'm confused why you're putting a story to that. Mario, the story doesn't matter. It never has mattered, but the gameplay is the thing that mattered. God of War, if the story, characters, and gameplay didn't work correctly, then the game would fail.
See, I disagree, because I think things like Breath of the Wild, there's a story there, but you have to go and find it. You hate, but I think it's one of the best games of all time, because I think the gameplay is phenomenal, the world's incredible, and as well as you also can go get the great story if you want to find it.
I feel like that. Personally, I think that the story should be clear what is going on, but it's like, oh, there is a story, but you gotta go find it, by the way. I've never been a fan of that. I've never really cared
Josh,
for that.
You're just a donkey's ass hat then.
Alright then.
God of War Ragnarok does have news, though, with the Game Awards. It did win things. It won Best Narrative. Are you happy?
I am happy with that.
There you go. You get your fucking story.
And I like that you say, like, story in games don't really matter, and yet you've been, like, losing it at the Last of Us show, and I know that when the God of War show comes out, you'll also be losing it at that, too.
Yeah, because it's a show. I want a good story for a show.
If the story wasn't good in the game, then they wouldn't have had a good show.
No, yes, but you're missing my point. When I'm playing a game, I don't play for story literally ever. Ever for a game. I only play a game to have an experience.
But the story is the experience.
I play a game to play. If I'm stopping to have cutscenes or to have emotional moments for characters, I get bored in the game. I want to actually do the action and play the game.
I play games to experience the story as the characters of what is happening.
And that's kind of the fun of video games. They're something for everyone. If you want to play Animal Crossing and Sims 4 and that's it, have fun. You're a gamer. Like, everyone just plays games differently, and that's wonderful.
Yes, don't mistake in my words that, not you, Sean, but the listeners, that all games are games, and whatever you play, you're a gamer.
All games are games!
We all have our personal preferences as to the games that we like and the games that we enjoy. I prefer story-driven games that have good gameplay. That's my preference.
This is not in the right section. But Death Stranding 2 is announced.
Yay. More weird Kojima shit.
But we have a new look at Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which releases March 17th.
Now it's April 28th,
so much fun.
On my birthday.
That's right, it moved. It did the move.
But I'm very excited for it. I loved Jedi Fallen Order, except for getting stuck on the final boss for 2 hours. That was very annoying.
We also have Kevin Conroy's last Batman performance ever is going to be happening with the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. He'll be playing Batman one last time in that game.
I'm very excited and very saddened by that. But I really hope they don't pull an Avengers game and make it like there's the loot boxes and all that shit. I really hope that they don't do that because it seems like they might. I'm like, you're gonna taint it. You're gonna ruin it. Don't do that.
You guys can't see Josh right now, but he got like Gollum just now in his pose.
Don't do it. Don't take the game.
Your poor ears, everyone. I'm sorry. So we have Oscar nominees. I went back to those now because the award section also had game stuff in it. I don't know why I miscategorized some stuff, but Oscar nominees happened. I have now seen. This will be the first year ever I will have seen every Oscar Best Picture nominee before the Oscars.
Woo!
I have only part of one movie left in the category. I already started All Quiet on the Western Front. Like last night I watched Triangle of Sadness. The Fabelmans is great. Everything Ever All at Once is great. It's a overall great lineup of movies. But some of these things are not like the others. I would have put Babylon in over Elvis.
Yep.
Or Way of Water, honestly. But I get it. Way of Water is an achievement in film. I understand having it there. But I would have put The Menu over that.
Yeah, Babylon is going to be one of those films that, is going to be studied, for years and years over everything that I did, not just from a storytelling perspective and character perspective, but from a technical perspective as well. And people are just going to be like, and why was this not nominated for Oscars and stuff? It's like, not even Margot Robbie got one, and it's her best performance. I was shocked that she didn't get a nomination.
I love that Spike Jonze is the director of Her, is literally in one scene, in a few scenes, as a German director with a bald head.
I just found that out today, and it's my favorite thing from this movie now.
Like, I would have put The Woman King in that category instead of Way of Water. I would have put Pinocchio, Guilty del Toro's Pinocchio, in actual Best Picture category. It's insane what gets skipped over.
It's But if you look at like statements from like Oscar voters like over the years, they'll constantly be like, "Oh yeah, I just like heard a lot about this, so that's and I watched like a little bit of it. I'll vote for that one." Or it's just like, "Oh yeah, Disney, my kids love it. I'll vote for that one." Obviously, there's a lot of voters that actually watch everything that they're supposed to be watching, but then you have a lot that are also like, whatever.
Like the Northman snub surprised me.
Yeah, like, at least, like, technical, like, production, design, costume, sound, cinematography. It's weird that it wasn't nominated.
And personally, I think The Batman was one of the best films of the year, genuinely. And it should have been on the list, too.
It's another Logan situation. It came out too early in the year, and they're like, oh well.
It's Batman, it's comic book, he can't be a Best Picture nominee.
But Joker.
Right. And also, The Batman should have gotten a cinematography nomination.
That pisses me off.
Because Greg Fraser did a fantastic job.
It got score, right, at least?
No.
God damn it!
Josh has gone crazy today.
The Oscars, They frustrate me so much, but then they get some nominations right that it's just like, okay, I'll allow it, but I'm still mad.
I've seen The Batman 5 times so far. 3 times in theaters.
I saw it either 3 or 4 times in theaters. I don't remember.
Like, Top Gun Maverick being in the Best Picture category is nonsense to me.
I stand by that one.
It's not Best Picture worthy over, like, The Northman and The Woman King.
I say over The Northman. You can make a good case for Woman King.
The Banshees of Inisherin was interesting.
I love Banshees. That was very good.
Feck.
If you haven't seen it yet, and you watch it at home, you're gonna want to put subtitles on, unless you're Irish.
Also, be mindful what you're getting into a little bit. I wasn't prepared to see fingers cut off. Like, that's the thing you should know going into this movie. There are some interestingly graphic things in this movie that are like, oh, you went there. Good to know.
Yeah, there's one thing that you should know about Martin McDonagh is that, yes, he does do comedies, but they are dark comedies, and, like, actually dark comedies. Like, he tackles a lot of heavy shit and never strays or, like, half-asses the darkness. And
I love that we have Colin Farrell for Best Lead Actor there, Brendan Gleeson and Barry Keoghan for Best Supporting Actor. Barry was phenomenal. Brendan was phenomenal. It was very funny watching Colin Farrell keep pushing those boundaries. Like, what are you doing, man? What an idiot.
He has so many amazing line deliveries. And I was watching a video of someone talking about the movie, and they were like, we should put Colin, like, just let him use his normal Irish accent a lot more. Because, like, it's so much fun. He gets so many great line deliveries just from his accent alone.
Tar was a very interesting movie.
I remember watching it. I was in theaters watching it. I was just like, this is really good. A lot of the cinematography, like, people are just like, should it? I'm like, yes. It has some really good cinematography. A lot of amazing long takes as well.
It's too long to me, but that's fine.
There are some parts where I'm like, you can, like, trim this down. I don't think there's anything you can necessarily cut. At first I was like, where's this going? What's like the point of it? Then the last scene happens. I'm like, oh, I get it. I don't think Cate Blanchett's going to win the Oscar, but if she does, it's a very well-deserved performance.
Women Talking was worth watching, though, for sure.
Yeah, my theater I work at has it, so I'll be seeing it at some point soon.
We're moving on from the Oscars now. Any final thoughts? Oh, wait, I want, for Best Supporting Actor, I want Ke Huy Quan to win.
Yes, if he doesn't win, then I would want Brian Tyree Henry. That's my second pick.
So, Josh, it's trailer time.
Trailers? They happen.
Trailer time. I have a trailer for a truck that pulls the wheat. That's my trailer theme.
We would like someone to take that and turn it into a theme song. Do not change any of the lyrics.
No, just take my exact audio and remix it. That's a good plan. So, the first show I want to discuss is the show Shrinking, starring Marshall Erickson himself, Jason Segel. This is so fun. I love the idea of a therapist being unethical for positivity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first 3 episodes of it are out now. It's a delight. It's from one of the co-creators of Ted Lasso. Jason also created it, along with Brett Goldstein, who plays Roy Kent in Ted Lasso.
He also wrote a lot of Ted Lasso. He's one of the writers.
But it's a very good show. Jason Segel is, of course, great in it. I love the premise of it. Harrison Ford is also a delight. It's rare that I've seen him in like a pure comedy role, and he's just a lot of fun in it.
It's Harrison Ford's only second show ever.
That's wow.
Right?
Oh yeah, because the first one was the Yellowstone prequel, 1923 or whatever that is.
That being said, Josh, yay or nay on overall the Oscar nominations?
I give an indifferent yay.
I'm giving a nay. Want to know why?
Sure.
Because I have to hear that goddamn Elvis voice still.
I'm just like, sure, dude.
Yeah, it's because it's fading away naturally now. Yeah, sure.
Which is so weird that, like, he's been stuck, I get why he's been doing it for the Oscars, but, like, his natural voice is not that at all.
He says his voice changed to that, like, he's been stuck in it for, like, 3 years straight. However, we also got a trailer for a rom-com starring Alison, Brie, and Danny Pudi's in this trailer, which is amazing.
Yes. Directed by Dave Franco.
I will say, when I watched this trailer, I watched it for the first time today, my jaw dropped at that moment. And you know what moment I'm talking about. And it's like, what? If you've not seen it yet, the trailer yet, I don't want to spoil that moment for you. Look up the Alison Brie rom-com trailer coming out with Iris West from Justice League. What's her name? She's playing one of the main characters too in this. And this is so much fun. I cannot wait to watch this.
I'm excited because she co-wrote it with her husband, Dave Franco, who also directed it. I think this is like his second movie as director. And I think that's cool that, they're a real-life couple and they wrote a rom-com together. So that'll be fun to see. But also, Alison reunites with Danny from Community. That's fun! Yeah,
and her co-star in this rom-com is Jay Ellis, and the movie's called Somebody I Used to Know. I wish it was coming out in theaters, not just on Prime. But whatever.
That's so weird with Amazon, because they, back when they were doing movies more consistently, they put them in theaters. But I guess, COVID and everything changed that.
We have a mix of some Marvel and DC trailers in here, too, I'm letting you know. Like this trailer, we have a minute-long teaser for Gotham Knights, a show that is still happening, which we'll get to out later, but...
It's fascinating with the stuff that DC that we'll be talking about later, that this show is still happening.
March 14th on the CW, we get Gotham Knights with Joker's daughter... numerous Robins, it seems, a dead Batman who is wearing a business suit in the street with just the cowl on.
I want that to be his bat suit. I don't want it to be like, they killed Bruce Wayne to put like a bat mask on him. But even like so, like when it's like in the Batcave and like you see the mask, horrible. See,
the initial premise of Gotham Knights isn't bad because that's what they're doing for the Gotham Knights game. The same base premise of Bruce is gone or missing, and then the Bat family have to step up.
And the game is also not that good.
You played it?
I've playing some of it. The gameplay of it. It's so annoying.
Do you like the story though?
I was playing with my brother because you can do either single player or multiplayer, and he talks constantly during gaming, so I don't really know what's happening aside from Bruce is dead. I say dead in quotes, so who knows if he actually is.
The premise of the game seems more interesting to me than the show does.
The premise of the game is more interesting than the show's premise. The show's premise is very clearly like, I don't think they've ever read a comic before.
Yay or nay on the Gotham Knights teaser?
I'll give it a yay, because it delayed me, but not in the way that I wanted to.
It does. The teaser looked fun.
I feel like, did they do like a quick Wikipedia search on like who a Joker is? And it's just like, oh yeah, let's give him a daughter. He seems like the fatherly type.
It reminds me of in Cursed Child, Voldemort having a daughter, Bellatrix Lestrange.
Look, we prefer to never speak of that.
We also got the trailer for Oppenheimer. Cillian Murphy starring in that alongside with Chris Nolan's new movie.
I'm team cast.
I'm team Barbie personally. Starring Josh Peck, Robert Downey Jr., and a whole lot of people, and it looks interesting.
I like you put Josh Peck before Robert Downey Jr.
Naturally.
But yeah, it's him, RDJ, Florence Pugh, Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, Jack Quaid.
Hey Josh. What shape is a bomb?
What?
Spherical! It's spherical!
Spherical!
Oh, Drake and Josh.
Drake, where's the bomb?
The cinematography is stunning.
It's so weird though seeing a Nolan film not from Warner Brothers, because this is the first one after his partnership breakup with them after Tenet.
Breakup.
I'm not wrong.
They had a divorce. It was messy.
Who was the child in the divorce?
Killian, he got the kids. We also got the Indiana Jones 5 Dial of Destiny trailer, which looks really fun.
I'm excited. At first I was worried, just because, like, we were really going to do this, but then James Mangold got announced as director. I'm like, all right, let's see what you got.
And we got Gimli back in it, was saying he misses the sand, the desert.
It's so funny, because every time I went to see the Lord of the Rings Extended Trilogy, because they showed it at the Alamo, week by week, they always play that trailer. I'm like, it's Gimli!
It's so funny to me seeing him in those two roles that are so staggeringly different. But it looks fun. It looks like a very fun movie, and I love how I'm excited because of how excited Harrison Ford is.
Yeah, of course, they offered him a lot of money, but he genuinely loves this character. It
takes a lot to get him hype and happy about something, and so I'm hype and happy about it. Yay. Then we have the Guardians 3 trailer, which I give Nate, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
We have Rocket Raccoon, who's probably going to die, because so far the logos have been the color of the person who dies.
Oh, shit. That's a fun thing to think of.
Uh-huh.
I'll give yay, because this will actually be like an ending for a small section of the MCU in a certain way.
It is Dave's last time playing Drax. It is...
I think it's going to be most of their last time playing these characters. There'll probably be, like, a few that'll stay on, but I think Star-Lord, Gamora, I think, like, all the core ones, I think this will be their last time.
I think Zoe Saldana will stay longer because of the whole, this is a new version of her kind of thing.
I can understand that thinking, but she's also been, like, I've been doing major blockbusters for a decade, and, like, you can tell, like, she kind of wants to do, smaller things again. I mean, if it's, like, her and Nebula, like, in their adventures together, sure, I'll be fine exploring that.
Stepsister battles across the galaxy. That's all we need. I did love the blood shot. Like, that was such a hard shot to get.
Yeah, if there's any director in the MCU that has constantly been proving, like, just, like, how great of a director he is, like, visually, it's James Gunn, so I'm very excited to see what he does with this.
I don't always love his style, but he does have style, and I appreciate that.
Yes.
But we also got an Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer, where we see Jonathan Majors who's going to kill Scott Lang. Not Kang. Jonathan Majors, the actor, is going to murder the character of Scott Lang. Punch him right in the face.
I'm so curious how this film is going to turn out, because obviously, Kang Dynasty is the title of the next Avengers movie, so he's obviously gonna get away. So then it just leaves me wondering, like, is he gonna kill Ant-Man, or who's going to die? Because I feel like someone's going to die.
Josh, I think you forgot something. That you said Kang's obviously gonna get away. He might not. He's all about variants. We're getting like 10 versions in Loki season 2.
That's true. I also don't know much about it, but I feel like from what I can gather from the trailers about this, it would seem weird for this to not be the Kang going forward.
I think we're going to have multiple Kangs going forward.
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know movies. I hate movies. Movies can burn. What's a movie?
So I am excited overall for this Ant-Man movie. It looks better than the last trailer, or the first teaser we got, for sure. The actual full trailer looks good. And I'm really, really enjoying just seeing the quantum realm more than just like the weird green screen. Look, guys, look! It looks like fucking Sharkboy Lava Girl. No, it doesn't.
I also hated when people were like that. I'm like, you're seeing an image that's supposed to be moving and not in motion. Like, it's not going to look right. Yeah.
That being said, the one Sharkboy Lava Girl comparison I get behind, which is a good thing, is MODOK. MODOK should look like Mr. Electric.
MODOK should not look good. And I'm saying this in a positive way. He's a giant head with tiny arms and legs in a big chair. You can't make that look cool.
I do wish they scrunched up his face a little more, though. Like, his nose should be a little scrunched up more. His proportions should be a little more wrong. Do you know what I
mean? Yeah.
But because they still want to keep Darren Cross's face.
I just love he goes from being like, this boss of like, of a corporation to being the Yellow Jacket to now MODOK. Like,
also, I guess
sure.
If you didn't notice in the trailer, spoilers, because Darren Cross is now a little scrunched up boy.
In a big chair.
In a big chair. And he has a fun little mask. He floats along. MODOK is a bad boy.
It's so weird. Like the MODOKs I know, at least that I've seen recently, I go from the Avengers game, which how they did it was
the MODOKs I know.
The MODOKs I know. The Avengers game I thought was interesting, but like from the character perspective, the MODOK show that was fascinating.
That's not an accurate show, Josh.
I'm aware it's not accurate. I'm not saying it is.
Patton Oswalt's MODOK is certainly something.
The whole show is so.
So, do you know what MODOK stands for?
They've said it in the show, but it's a lot of words.
I will accept a few different versions. If you can take a guess, that's more fun.
Motorized, omniscient, daddy on kilts.
I thought you were going to say crack with a K. I love that you said daddy in the middle of this. It's either mental, mobile, or mechanized, because comics eventually change acronyms, like how S.H.I.E.L.D. changes slightly. But a mechanized organism designed only for killing. But daddy on kilts is funnier. So from now on, I want to have a t-shirt that says MODOK and says daddy on kilts.
Good.
GeekSpeak, daddy's on kilts. That's our new slogan.
Sure.
Why not? But good trailer, good time. First look at MODOK is interesting. Big floaty head. We also got a Bong Joon-ho movie teaser for his Mickey 17 movie with Robert Pattinson.
Rob Bat.
In a weird glowy tube, shirtless and naked looking. So that's a yay.
It is the epitome of a teaser. It's just like, hey, this movie is happening. That's it.
But yay. And yay the Ant-Man trailer so far. We have a teaser, because competing with Oppenheimer, we have Barbie. We got a 2001 A Space Odyssey style trailer for Barbie, and it was incredible.
If you have any doubts about Barbie, I don't know why you would have doubts about it. It's directed by Greg Gerwig, who co-wrote it with Noah Baumbach, her husband, which is, I love that. Starring Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. It's a delight. I will be doing a marathon of Barbie and Oppenheimer, because that's the only thing you can do on those days.
I'm going to purposely only watch Barbie opening day as a taking a stance. My team.
But if you see that and not knowing you're supporting Warner Brothers, then you're supporting, the bad parent in the divorce.
No, I'm supporting Margot Robbie. I'm supporting Greta Gerwig. We also get a Shazam 2 Fury of the Gods trailer.
Shazam.
That came out the other day, and it's a bit more than we got before.
I prefer the first trailer.
I'm not hyped by either trailer, but I know it will be fun.
I think the first trailer kind of got the tone more. I didn't care for the second one, more so because it did spoil it more than I wanted to, just like what the story is about.
Yeah.
But again, I'm still excited for it. I love the first ones, and I think this one's going to be a lot of fun as well.
We had to see captured children in this one. Child prisoners. That's the goal, Josh.
What goal?
Yeah, you've seen Thor: Love and Thunder. Remember, there are child soldiers and child prisoners. That's what movies are aiming toward now, right?
We must make the children the soldiers. For what purpose, I don't know, but it must occur. And again, someone sound clip this.
Please don't, for legal reasons, but also child soldiers. Moving on, Beau is Afraid. The new Joaquin Phoenix Ari Aster film trailer.
Which is apparently like 3.5 hours.
It looks so good.
I've probably said before on this podcast, I'm not a fan of experimental films, and I'm not saying that this looks bad. I'm saying it doesn't look like it's for me.
It doesn't even look experimental to me. It looks like closer to like Benjamin Button kind of style than anything else. Like in terms of, but it's gonna have weird, like I got Secret Life of Walter Mitty vibes. It looks so much fun.
I've seen Hereditary and Midsummer. This is probably his most experimental thing, or who knows? I could be completely wrong, but I know it's gonna be weird when A24 makes this a wide release and it makes like $5 million.
I will make you watch this movie, Josh.
I'm not saying I'm not going to watch it. I'm just saying that I'm probably not going to enjoy it.
And the last trailer on our trailer time. I got a truck. It's pulling the wheat. Is the trailer for 65, which if you do not know what this movie's about, do not watch the trailer.
I would recommend you not know anything about this movie.
I agree. Because the reveal is way more fun if you don't know. So, also, I didn't say this earlier, there are timestamps down below. You can skip ahead if you don't want to hear certain segments. So, spoilers, I guess, for this trailer, but what a brilliant idea.
It's from the people that made this. They wrote A Quiet Place, and this is their first movie as both writing and directing. And this is I don't know how this is going to play out, but I love this concept.
And I will say, it is not written by John Krasinski, who also has writing credits for A Quiet Place, because he rewrote a lot of it when he directed it.
It's written by the original writers before
Correct.
Krasinski
Yes.
came in.
This looks like so much fun. And it's spoilers to this trailer. If the survivors are like, we're Adam and Eve, like something like that.
I'm going to reiterate what Nick Mason said on The Weekly Planet. Adam Driver better be like, screw these dinosaurs, use some like ray gun, bring down like meteorites to wipe them out.
Oh god. Well, he did hit a meteorite on the way.
And like meteorites are raining, but I don't know if that's like the extinction, for the event for the dinosaurs.
I would love it if he hit it out of the way.
I'm curious if it's going to be revealed if like, they're aliens or if he like traveled back in time and he doesn't know that he's like on Earth immediately.
I like the idea that he is from the past, but he's an alien, like an advanced. It looks really interesting. The idea of I'm stumbling across 65 million years ago dinosaurs and there are aliens is a cool idea. He's got a fun ray gun.
He does.
It should bring down meteors. You're right. Josh, we have finished. Trailer time. I got a trailer with a truck on the back of it, and I'm carrying my wheat.
Toot toot.
So, TV news.
Television.
I know. Ugh. Let's start with some really, really fast positive stuff. Some renewals, but don't be sad, you'ls.
That's a phrase, I guess.
Okay, hold on. No, I can do better. Renewal. I'm barely ooler.
All right.
Renewal time. Better renew it. The show Ghost, the American version, is getting renewed.
I've not seen it.
My dad said it's fluff. And I'm like, Dad, you call everything fluff that you watch on TV now. Stop it. Enjoy this good art. Apparently, it's a very fun comedy. And sitcom. People love sitcoms. So I've seen a little bit here and there. It does look a little below what I usually be interested in. Like not up to my par of incredible cinema. Because clearly, I love cinema. You hate cinema.
Yes.
But it does look fun. And I'm glad it's getting renewed. Because that means people are still working, not unemployed. That's always a positive in this industry.
Indeed.
That's a yay from me. Another renewal is one that you will love, and that's Abbott Elementary renewed for season 3.
Woo!
It also did well at the Golden Globes, I think, as well.
Yes, I think it won Best Comedy, Best Supporting Actor, and I think Best Actress. Those are the ones I remember. It could have won more than that.
And for some fun little Marvel-y TV news, Dickie, which is a fun name, was cast as the Loki Season 2 villain. Even though also we have been confirmed we're going to have multiple variants of K in Loki Season 2 as well. So Jonathan Majors is going to be employed for a while. Jonathan Majors, this year for him, I watched 3 trailers back to back with him in it.
Yeah,
that was cool.
He is doing well for himself. You still need to watch Lovecraft Country.
Correct. But he was Devotion, Creed 3, and Ant-Man and Quantumania all had trailers in the same theater in one sitting. I'm like, wait, what? Jonathan Majors, you're everywhere.
He's everywhere.
But Katie Dickie, I've not seen her in really anything, to my knowledge, so I am excited to see what she does. She was in The Bitch. She's in The Northman as Haldora the Pict, which I've not. I've seen it. I don't know who that was.
She was in The Green Knight. She does look familiar. Okay.
Yeah, so I've seen her in just The Northman. But yay, actors getting jobs. You go, actors.
Acting. Actor.
I have no idea who should be playing, though. I'm very curious. I thought we'd have more Renslayer. I think we're going to have more Renslayer again, Judge Renslayer. I think we're going to have more Morbius, because Mobius.
Mobius?
Mobius! No, Morbius in Loki Season 2.
I prefer for that to not occur.
But Josh, it's Loken time.
Please stop.
Oh, God. On to villainous news, TV-wise. Dahmer has over 1 billion hours viewed.
People, what's wrong with you?
Dahmer.
I can tell it started, as the people that typically watch shows like that, they started it, and then people kept, talking about it. People kept also talking, why are you watching this? People were like, well, now I have to watch it now.
People kept calling him hot.
People, please stop being stupid.
Evan Peters should not have been cast as Dahmer in the first place, because people keep casting conventionally hot actors as serial killer roles, which makes the killers seem more attractive to the public, which is a bad thing. It's good for marketing your show. It's really bad for the actual view of the content.
It was very weird when that Ted Bundy movie came out and Zac Efron played him.
Yeah, and people kept calling him hot again. Didn't like that whole thing. Also, the victims' families have tell people to just not watch this, please. And
I never had any interest to watch it.
Neither did I. 1 billion hours viewed, Josh. I get that an A.
I give it a hard A. It's just...
So your favorite show of all time, Doctor Who, has started filming.
I love the Who Man. He who's a lot. He's also a doctor, and he's very intelligent.
We have Ncuti Gatwa as the new Doctor. We have Millie Gibson as the companion. Not to be confused with Mel Gibson, different person. Although if Mel Gibson was the Doctor's companion, I would watch that season.
It'd be a fascinating season.
I do hate Mel Gibson, but oh my god.
It'd be a fascinating choice to get a non-British person to be in Doctor Who as a lead.
Well, also just a grown-ass man as the Doctor's companion. But Ncuti Gatwa's outfit looks so much fun. It's got a very chocolatey kind of palette to it. It reminds me of Christmas with the nectarines, the oranges, clementines with chocolate, and it's a very bright orange. It's also a crop top he's wearing. He's the first Doctor to wear a crop top. Congrats. And he's got a fun little brown plaid kind of fleecy design on his pants and jacket. It's a unique look, and the Doctor's known for having unique looks. So, fun. Next up on the news, we have Star Wars TV show news. Josh?
Crazy.
Bad Batch Season 2 came out, but we don't watch that
I
yet.
haven't watched it yet.
Yep. Other Star Wars TV news. I'll give that a yay, because people love Star Wars, and they get happy with Bad Batch, I guess, because people love the cartoons, broadly. The second it's live action, they get mad.
Nah, I've seen people get mad at the cartoons as well.
It's not as common as a thing, though.
That is true.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead was cast as Hera in the Ahsoka series, and again, I've not watched Bad Batch or Clone Wars, so I have no stake in this.
I have no stake in it, but then when that first trailer for Ahsoka comes out, I'm like, all right, fine, I'll watch the Clone Wars. You win.
But also, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is incredible, especially in Swiss Army Man, where she's a picture, and that's pretty much it. Hilarious role. But she's amazing in things like Scott Pilgrim. She's also Royal Pain on Gwen Grayson in Sky High, who is phenomenal.
You need to watch 10 Cloverfield Lane.
I plan on it. But that's a good casting no matter what, 'cause she's great. Well, we're getting an Avatar: The Last Airbender show in 2025. So that's fun. Reportedly going to focus on an Earth avatar. It means we're going to have an actual modern-day Avatar.
That's so weird to think about.
Because
it was weird for me to get used to Korra's time period, but now that this one's set in modern day, I'm like, that's going to be even weirder.
The Avatar world progresses in a kind of real time, which is really weird for fantasy. If you watch Lord of the Rings or read Lord of the Rings books, time has not really changed much in hundreds of years in terms of technology, or thousands of years. So we're not really used to seeing a fantasy world that has technology progressed, especially in normal time.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather them go back and see more of the history of that world personally, but that's just me. But I'm still really excited for this. I'm a huge Avatar fan, and this is awesome. The sad part, Josh, Korra will be dead.
I mean,
Bolin, Asami.
That is how it goes.
If Bolin's dead, I will cry.
Nah, Bolin's gonna be the only one to keep alive.
Watch them keep alive fucking Mako.
They'll keep him alive, and then he'll just be wandering around. He's just like, does someone have something they want me to do?
He's still a fire cop.
I love they're just like, we don't really know what to do with him. Let's just make him a cop, I guess.
What a weird weird storyline. Hard yay. Hooray. Hooray?
I guess I'll give it a yay.
Give it a hooray. A hard yay. A hooray.
Hurrah.
The Last of Us is a show that we have talked about this podcast now numerous times about because Josh has played the games. I am the control group in this podcast. He's watching it as an adaptation. I'm watching it as just mostly a show. Episode 4 comes out this Sunday. Once the whole season is out, we'll be doing part of an episode about that as a whole. Without spoiling anything, I'm loving it.
It's only 3 episodes in, but it's one of my favorite shows. And yes, a lot of that is from my love of the game, but even aside from that, it is just that damn good.
Would you want to spend a day with Bill and Frank hanging out?
Yes. Why would I not want to spend a day with another version of Ron Swanson? And I mean that in the best way.
It is such a good show. And there are some people who are bigoted, like review bombing episode 3 for reasons I don't want to get into right now, but it is not, it is really good. Don't listen to that hate.
There are some people that for some reason think that The Last of Us is not gay. It's been gay since 2013.
Honey, we've been gay.
That's gay, the sequel's gay, it's all gay.
Bella Ramsey is also a queer actor who is gender fluid and uses any pronouns, and that's...
bigots, you're losing. You've never been winning, you've been losing consistently.
The people who were mad about this episode are the same people who are mad at Bella Ramsey not being hot enough to play a 14-year-old, which is also fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Also, and that's not me saying that she is or isn't hot. I'm not judging the hotness of a 19-year-old right now. I'm saying that's an actual common complaint online that bigoted, toxic men had of, she's not hot enough to play Ellie, who's a 14-year-old character. Why do you think a 14-year-old's hot?
I saw someone say that Elliot Page should still play Ellie. I'm like, well, there's a couple...
Why would a 30-year-old man play a part?
Yeah, there's a couple of factors that would go into that not happening.
Also, that part, caused actual trauma and pain because Elliot did not play Ellie in The Last of Us, but Ellie looked so much like a younger Elliot.
Yeah, I remember when that whole thing happened, because I never played the games. I was just like, oh yeah, I guess I could see that.
Well, Elliot Page was in another game at the time, and I wasn't getting enough PR, and people assumed that Ellie was playing Ellie, which is not correct. And it's just, that really hurt him. So, how about don't suggest that? Also, it's like a 35-year-old man. Why would that's not playing a 14-year-old girl? Wouldn't make sense. Last of Us is amazing, though.
Indeed.
I have other Last of Us kind of adjacent news, Josh. I think you might find interesting.
Well, what be it?
Neil Druckmann said that Sam Raimi's The Last of Us, which almost happened about 10 years ago after the game came out, they were like, let's make a movie out of this. So Sam Raimi wanted to make a Last of Us film. And apparently the execs at the company kept asking for it to be sexier and bigger. Raimi wanted to be like a No Country for Old Men, and they wanted a World War Z.
I'm very happy that Sam Raimi understood what the adaptation needed to be, and honestly, I wish that we could have gotten to see that, because it would have been a different side of Raimi, but also that horror side of him still would have come out. But him tackling a drama like that, I feel like would have been really cool to see. But the story works far better as a show than as a movie. You could make it work, but it wouldn't be the same.
We get a lot of time to sit with these moments in the show, which is really good.
Yeah.
That first half hour, episode 1, beautiful.
Perfection.
I am a little tired, though, of feature-length episodes of TV shows at Stranger Things, but still, this is still fun. It's worth it. People also referred to episode 3 as look, this is a beautiful short film. Guys, it's feature-length. This is not a short film.
Feature-length is, 50 minutes plus.
On to other gaming-related show news. Not gay-related news, gaming-related news. Or gay, I don't know. A Tomb Raider TV series is in the works now at Amazon, with Phoebe Waller-Bridge set to write it. Cool.
I've heard she's a good writer. The clips I've seen of Fleabag are good. I'm a little salty, though, that the Tomb Raider sequel that was supposed to be from the creator of Lovecraft Country...
With Alicia
Vikander, and then the creator of Lovecraft Country, she was writing and was supposed to direct it, is not moving forward anymore. I'm salty about that still, but who knows, maybe this will be good.
I am excited for it still overall. I have played part of a Tomb Raider game. I own a whole Tomb Raider game I've never touched. Not once.
I've played the prequel games that have been coming out since 2012, 2013, whenever they started. I really love the story of those, which is why I like the 2018 movie, because it was following those. But who knows? I don't know what this show will be about. Apparently, it's tying into a game and I think a movie as well. I think. I could be wrong on that.
Well, Josh, we also have other revival-based news with Phineas and Ferb coming back for 2 more seasons.
I am so mixed on this. On one hand, let me explain myself. On the one hand, I'm very happy. Anytime I go back and revisit Phineas and Ferb from beginning to end, it is so good. It is so smartly written. It's fantastic. And then there's a part of me that's just like, but what if it's not as good? Why are we reviving this and not, getting something new instead?
Well, that's because what Dan Poppmeyer wants to do. Like, he's still making his new shows. He's still doing Hamstring Battle. He did My Low Murphy's Law. He's still making new shows. But he's like, it's a long summer. It's like a 3-year long summer.
I would like to see just one episode of them, during the school year, just like them in school. I want to see what that's like.
Phineas is actually a loser in school and has no friends.
Ferb is Ferb is very talkative at school.
It's just Phineas being dramatically beat up and bullied the whole year. And then the summer is we actually get to shine again.
It's just bullies trying to fix his face from being a triangle into a normal shaped face.
It's the Fablemans, but instead of cameras, it's engineering.
Yes.
Oh god. But moving on from there, Justin Roiland news.
Oh boy.
If you're not familiar with the show Rick and Morty, which of course you are, the actor Justin Roiland, who you might know from Gravity Falls as Blendin Blandin.
He's also in Adventure Time as some character.
He's a voice actor who does the same few voices on a lot of different shows. He voiced Rick and Morty and Lemon Person and I don't know.
His Morty voice is like half of his characters that he's done.
Yeah, it's like his main voice. He is a bad person and is fired.
Yeah.
From every show.
From Rick and Morty, he was fired from that. His show, that I don't know if he was the sole creator on for Hulu, he was fired from that. His game studio, he was fired from that as well. And it's it's all well deserved. We're
not gonna get into the why. That's not really important right now. But good for that happening. I'm saying yay for him being fired. Nay on the news overall because that's shitty that it happened.
Yeah.
Justin Roiland, why? You know, Alex Hirsch already had to go and redub over in Weirdmageddon, Louis C.K. He's going to have to do it again for Blendin Blandin now and other parts of that.
Yeah, I'm curious how they'll do that. But yeah, but also Rick and Morty. If people are worried about the writing, I don't think as from what I've heard, he hasn't been in the writers' room since season 3. So that's not going to change.
Also, it's not hard to find someone who can do Rick and Morty impressions.
Everyone can do Rick and Morty impressions.
Every frat guy has a Rick and Morty impression in their back pocket.
Oh, geez, Rick.
My point exactly.
I'm a frat guy he is referring to.
Yes, totally. But also, I think it'd be way funnier if they change the voice completely now.
Completely change it.
Christopher Walken style Rick now, and then don't address it.
In the show Amazing World of Gumball, because they had actual kids playing the kids, whenever their voices would change and they had to get new actors, they would literally write a whole episode about their voices changing and it'd be some insane thing that gets them to sound different, which I think is very funny. And I hope they do something like that with Rick and Morty.
Games to movie news. That's happened now. We got a D&D poster. It kind of looks like a dice. It's good composition. They have another poster that looks terrible. It's just floating heads.
The one, the dice looking one, still has all of them, but it's actually a well composed shot and it looks interesting. It's not just here's the heads of the people in the movie,
and they're all looking down like they're looking at a board, and that's cool.
I'm excited for the D&D movie.
We also have 2 Mario movie clips released. We got one that's kind of a trailer-ish thing with Mario going with Toad through pipes and coins, and it looks so authentic and fun.
The more I see this movie, the more I'm excited. I am disappointed though that Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong is just his normal voice. It's not just him making monkey noises.
Yeah, that was the other clip we saw, and it's him beating up Mario in his Mario's cat suit, and then talking as Seth Rogen. But also, Donkey Kong's never had a consistent voice, so it's fine.
He's never really had a voice.
He never had he has been in numerous shows. On to other movie game news. Death Stranding, a game where Josh wants to be boring.
It's as someone that has played the game, it needs to be long, it needs to be weird, and it needs to be boring. And I say that in a positive way.
According to Deadline, the live-action Death Stranding film introduced new elements and characters within the universe, and the film was being fast-tracked, with Hammerstone Studios that created Barbarian producing the film.
I'm curious who's going to direct it. I'd be very curious if Hideo Kojima, who makes the games, if he's going to direct this, because he's a very good director.
Kojima's also producing it.
Okay. I'm curious if they'll get the cast from the games as well, because, Norman
Reedus,
he looks just like himself, so, why not?
On to other news. This is more tabletop in a movie, but Warhammer. I'll get into why this is happening in our DC news. Henry Cavill is attempting to star in the project of a Warhammer film or show. Amazon is trying to get the rights for a Warhammer 40K project.
I think it's definitely gonna happen. I'm very curious to see what it'd be like, because I don't know a damn thing about Warhammer 40K. I've never played the tabletop games, never played the video games. I've never done nothing with it, so I'd be curious to see what it's like.
If Amazon can't get the rights with the money they have, I'd be surprised. We are on to FNAF news in the games to movie news section. Because Five Nights at Freddy's movie is happening with Blumhouse, as we're aware, but we also now have some casting with Josh Hutcherson, Matthew Lillard, which is a phenomenal casting choice, first off. That's absolutely incredible. Mm-hmm. We're also getting Mary Stuart Masterson and Piper Rubio. Masterson will play a villain, and Rubio will play Abby, Mike's younger sister. And I think Matthew Lillard is playing Mike. Is that correct?
I'm looking it up now.
Hold on, I have.
Yes, Josh Hutcherson is playing Mike, the security guard, and Matthew Lillard is the creator of the animatronics.
Yeah. Okay. So I haven't seen Matthew Lillard in anything really besides Scooby-Doo and Scream, which are two interesting roles. And seeing him do something like Scream again would be so much fun.
I remember when this was announced back in, I guess, 2015. I remember so many rumors and everything. I remember a very strong rumor was that Markiplier was going to be playing the security guard in the movie, just because he became popular from the games. But yeah, this will be interesting. I love that they got Jim Henson Animatronics to do the animatronics for this.
What if Markiplier was Freddy?
He just doesn't. When you see Freddy show up, it's just hello everybody, my name is Markiplier.
Yay on all this casting.
I give it a yay. I'm very curious to see how it's going to turn out.
We have now entered our last section of the podcast, our DC news section.
Oh boy. A lot has happened with DC.
I have some shocking revelations.
Shocking.
Number one, Pennyworth, the show, was canceled.
Excuse me. It's called Pennyworth, The Origin of Batman's Butler.
They changed the name of her season because no one was watching and knew it was him.
That's not the way to get people to watch it. You have to market it so people, and not put it on a dead network, first off.
Did you see the clip of him watching London get bombed and he just looks mildly distressed?
No, I have not. Was that the thing that got sent in the group chat just recently?
Yeah, go watch that. It's a clip of Albert Pennyworth and a bunch of people at a funeral looking over and watching all of London being nuked. And he looks like he just, stuck in some gum. That's it.
I think they're all just kind of huh?
Isn't that so funny?
And this is from the last episode, too.
Yeah. So it gets canceled with that as the end of the show.
Apparently, the show is, his time, as, a spy or something like that.
Yeah, there's mech suits.
I have seen that image.
I'm not surprised it's canceled. I'd never heard anyone talking about it.
Well, it came out on the network Epix, which I don't think people knew still existed, and now it doesn't exist. It's MGM Plus now, because apparently if you have a streaming service, you have to have Plus at the end of it now.
I know you aren't really an Arrowverse boy. You're not really an Arrow lad or a Flash man, but here is this poster. I'm sending you in the chat. It's the new poster for the final season of The Flash, and the tagline is The Final Run. That's a good tagline, and this is a fucking great poster. What's really cool is in this are posters of all the other seasons in the background of the poster.
Oh, it's got a load for me.
So we get to have Flash running through looks like all of his past seasons and running past that. So he's running past the past. He's growing. He's on his final journey. I will probably skip to this season and watch the end of the show because I'm wondering how it will go.
There's just things I've seen, like, I think the suit, like, for this season doesn't look too bad, because the Flash's suit has varied wildly every season. It's either going to look really good, or it's going to look like hot garbage. And
okay, hold on.
You know what I'm...
Seasons 1 through 3 are almost the exact same suit, with almost no changes at all.
Okay, not every single season, but they got to a point of where they were changing them, like, every season.
The best suit you guys get season 4, by far. It is so good. Season 4 suit is the best suit, and then I don't like him in spandex very much, and just because I don't think it's designed super well for the show, because they're not, the textures aren't different enough.
The cowl also just doesn't look good.
How dare you?
I'm not wrong.
Season 4 Flash is prime Flash. I don't even fight you in this, but
I gotta look this up again.
The colors on the lightning are also really cool because it's the lightning there is turning white. If you're not aware, the lightning of Flash and Speed Force actually matters and means something. Like, white lightning is the most in touch you can possibly be with the Speed Force. So
the suit itself from season 4 doesn't look bad, and the design of the cowl isn't bad. I just hate how smooth it makes his head look.
This is a little smooth, boy.
It doesn't look right.
Okay, fine. Look up season 7 Flash, the current Flash suit. Do you like that better? Because to me, his neck is weird on that.
This one?
Yeah.
That looks horrible.
That's the current Flash suit.
That's horrible.
That's the one you were just commenting a minute ago, saying it's not bad now.
Hold on, I'm gonna look up season 10 suits, because if it's the same, I'm gonna take back my words. Then yes, I take back my word.
Oh, you don't like the suit?
No, no.
It is like a fan. Everyone loves this suit so much.
Interesting.
Because it's like comic accurate. I'm like, yeah, but season 4 actually had texture, and texture makes it look good on camera.
Like, there's a point of, like, where you can have something that looks comic accurate, but it has to look nice.
I think there are times when it looks nicer. When he's not wearing the cowl, it looks nicer to me.
It looks cheap. And
look,
I hate digging on, like, the costume designers and everything, because it's not always, like, their fault, but, like, really? Yeah, like, without the cowl, like, it looks fine.
It's just like
they
haven't mastered his...
The only cowl that they've gotten right for the Flash is Snyder's, and I think they're about to mess that up with the Flash movie too. We have spent a long time on the Flash poster this final season. That's a good poster, though. Here's another piece of DC TV news, Josh. The Penguin show will tie in to the Batman 2. Are you surprised? No, I thought it was going to tie into Superman and Lois.
I know, crazy. Let's actually official news is that it will tie in. Here's a quote. Matt Reeves says, "There's actually a whole little fabric of things we're wanting to do. The way we're doing it with the Penguin and how that comes back into how it will lead into the sequel." Okay, but also it's only going to be 8 episodes.
I think that's not a bad length if they do it right.
I like the idea of it being a miniseries and less of a whole show, which is better to me for this.
I mean, it could be a miniseries for all we know.
Watch it just be the Penguin just trying to gain power in the flood. That'd be
He's
cool.
just going around the boat. It's just like, follow me!
I'm a penguin.
I'm very curious who the villain of the Batman Part 2 is going to be.
Oh yeah, that's a news piece. It's now called Part 2. Woo!
I always like when movies do titling like that. I'm like, that's fun. I like that. And not like when you do like an actual like 2-parter, like Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2, but like when the sequel is just called Part 2 and Part 3.
We're going to pretend for a minute that DC is not getting reset, just for a second. Margot Robbie said that she wants to see a live-action Poison Ivy romance happen. She said she's been pushing it for years, and she cannot tell you how hard she's been pushing for it. She wants that to happen with her Harley Quinn with a Poison Ivy romance. Would you be open to that, hypothetically, if Birds of Prey universe was still what's happening right now?
I am fully down for that. I love how they've explored their relationship in the Harley Quinn show. I think it's great. I think that them doing it in live action would be really cool to see. I think that they're a very fun couple because they're very dysfunctional. So I think that'd be fun to see. And like it'd be like an actual like superhero rom-com would be fun.
So I'll give that idea a yay.
The possibility of it happening,
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. So, yeah, Margot. Sure. Yeah, girl, what do you want to do? On to some cancellations from DC, which there are a few.
A few, to say the least.
Let's start with Wonder Woman 3. But Patty Jenkins and Wonder Woman 3 no longer moving forward at all. And Patty Jenkins put out a whole statement about that and Rogue Squadron, which she is, as Rogue Squadron is still in development. It's not canceled right now, but that does not mean it will happen because movies are in development and then stop all the time. And that's normal. It's not like a thing to be upset about or excited about. It just things happen. But Wonder Woman 3 being canceled, I'm going to give a yay, but not for I can't tell you why until we're a little later on.
For me with this is like, again, like even reading her statement, there's just like probably a million different things that go into this kind of stuff. It is very disappointing though, because she's a great director. The first Wonder Woman was great. I like Wonder Woman 84. Obviously, if you don't, that's your opinion. But
yeah, I'm the right opinion, bitch. I'm sorry. Go on.
But like to see the people that are just like, oh, good, I'm so glad she's not directing it. She's a horrible director. I'm like, no.
Oh no.
You just didn't like one movie that she did, which happens. Everyone.
Yeah,
even Spielberg has made bad movies.
I agree that everyone has bad movies or not great movies, and it's fine. And I think that I want to see her do more movies. I want to see her Rogue Squadron. I just didn't love 84 for numerous reasons, but I love the first one.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see her do more stuff. Yeah.
Like, the first one's a very different film from the second one, which was a very deliberate choice. And, it's a choice that, not everyone loved, which happened. Keaton
Batman movie canceled. Are you shocked?
Oh, no. Whatever will I do now?
Remember when Keaton was going to be the Nick Fury?
Yeah, I remember that insanity.
Yeah. Also, his Batman movie was reportedly going to be a Batman Beyond movie. That kind of sucks to lose.
That is a bit disappointing, yes.
And Michelle Pfeiffer was going to return as Catwoman.
Yeah, like, that part of it is just like, okay, that is disappointing, but also, given everything DC, like, I'm fine with this not going forward. I think even Keen would be like, yeah, like, I don't know what's really happening.
That would have been a good Elseworlds, which we'll get to soon as well. But I think they could have worked as that.
I mean, they could bring it back. Who knows?
They could still do that exact same thing with the future of what was happening. Also, we could have had an old couple of Bruce and not Natasha. Selena. Bruce and Natasha.
Yeah, I think you got your universes mixed up in their Bruces.
Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle romance as like 7-year-old people. That seems kind of fun.
That seems nice.
But of course, naturally, he'd have to be sad and lonely because it's Batman. Superman and Lois Season 3 will still premiere, and it'll premiere March 14th on CW. That's a good thing.
Yes.
Alongside that, on March 14th, is premiering Gotham Knights on CW.
In other news...
I'm giving that's in the same news piece. I'm giving it a yay because we're getting more Superman Lois.
Yes, more Superman Lois I'm fine with. Gotham Knights...
I will watch the first episode of that show. Just because I want to see how it goes.
But, okay, this is, again, relating back to Velma. Yet, if you hate watch, they will make more. This is how Riverdale has been so successful.
How dare you? You know for a fact Mike Colando will die for that show.
And I will fight him on that.
This news piece came out in December. We are aware at this point that Henry Cavill left The Witcher. That was last episode, we talked about that. We are now aware that he's doing Warhammer. But I thought he didn't have time to do Warhammer. It was just announced a few months back to be in Black Adam and going forward, Superman. Turns out he is not returning as Superman, maybe ever again, in any capacity. We don't know that part yet, though. We just know he's not returning back as mainline same Superman. And in the words of James Gunn, the Snyderverse is over.
You know what? I'm happy that he said that. I know it's not going to stop them, but at least, it's confirmation.
And Affleck is also officially out as well. Both officially out. Although Affleck will be in the Flash movie in some capacity still, but beyond that, Affleck's done.
He might direct something for them.
That's the next news piece, Josh. Affleck met with DC about reconciling. And I think it'd be so funny if he directed a Bat movie, just in general, and piss people off. Because like, wait, what? You, huh?
Because I remember way back when that I thought that when it was announced he was directing his Batman movie, that it was supposed to be like an Arkham Asylum type movie. That could just be my memory being stupid.
Yeah, that was correct. It was going to be him fighting through Arkham Asylum, trying to kind of survive as Batman, and like all his rogues gallery will be there, and it's going to be really cool. And the main villain would be Deathstroke in that movie still.
Okay.
That's what Joe Manganiello was. That was a screen test for a Batman movie with Ben Affleck.
Yeah, I remember. Interesting.
So beyond Affleck out and Henry Cavill being out, the Black Superman movie is still happening. Now, like whether it be Val Zod or the President Superman or whatever, we're still getting a J.J. Abrams produced somehow.
I remember when it was announced that DC was teaming up with J.J. Abrams and his production company to make shows and movies, and it hasn't happened yet. Nothing has flourished from it. Things have been announced, things have been canceled. This is one of them, which is apparently still happening. And
Ta-Nehisi Coates is still, in theory, working on the script with J.J. Abrams for a Black Superman movie.
I'm all for this, but like, is this going to be the only thing out of all of this?
The Flash trailer will be premiering at the Super Bowl, Josh. The chaotic Flash movie. This is our Ezra news today.
You don't just get one Ezra, you get two, maybe more,
maybe three. So we're for sure getting two. I think we're getting three Ezra Millers.
It's going to be interesting. I am dreading seeing that makeshift Flash suit out of the old Batman suits, because from the leaked images, I don't like it.
It looks better than the current Flash that they're having.
They're
both of.
Why are they changing Flash's suit from the Snyder version to like the more comic accurate? Because it's not going to look as good. Or who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Again, I can eat my words. I'm fine with that.
It's just the cowl.
They can never get it right.
Add an actual lightning bolt belt. Like, add the design there instead of just random weird curvy lines on his chest. I'm also referring to his as in the Flash, not Ezra, who was non-binary. And it's just this movie.
It's
Ezra Miller.
Fascinating.
We're having Dark Flash, which seems to be a mix of New 52 Reverse Flash and the Black Flash Time Wraith kind of death. There's a Black Flash in comics is like a corpse rotting zombie Flash with a black suit, and it is the embodiment of death. Cool. And it will like if you are cheating death, I will come murder you, Wally West and Mary Ellen.
Cool.
So Ezra might be playing that version mixed with like his own Reverse Flash.
I'm curious to see what this movie is like. The stuff behind the scenes is a complete mess. But I want to give this film the benefit of the doubt.
No more Sasha Calle after this, probably either.
Which does suck.
But we don't know how it's going to be. We don't know how this movie's going to shake out.
We just know, according to Gunn, it resets the universe.
He also said it's one of the greatest superhero movies he's ever seen.
All right. Well, I'll be the judge of that. I'm the only judge of that.
You're the only judge.
I'm the only judge.
Let's get to the big boy in the room. The other day, DC, we've known for a while, they're going to, end of January, they're going to release their first plan. That's what we've been told for a while now. But end of January, James Gunn, Peter Safran will release their DC Vision. And I thought it'd be a hard reboot. Like a hard, let the movies that are coming out come out, and then just stop, restart.
It kind of is.
Yeah, but it's not a hard, it is a, so DC in comics does a thing where they reboot something in continuity. So it's still, everything that happened still technically happened in a version of the timeline, but it's reset itself. And so, like, with a huge in-universe event, like Flashpoint happens in DC Universe, and afterwards things are different. So it is a reset, but you can go back and see how the reset happened and see the whole past is still technically kind of there. You can do this. Man of Steel is technically still part of this universe, sort of. You know what I mean? Because that same thing.
Yeah, Gunn did confirm, like, the multiverse is going to, exist in this. As to how it's going to play out, we don't know yet.
So, like, Man of Steel, BVS, Suicide Squad, The Suicide Squad, all of that is still technically the same world, same universe, same story, than any universe the Flash movie's happening, which is a huge event And now after that, time has changed and events happen differently and people look different or are different. And we have
stay the same.
Yep. Maybe Ezra Miller is staying the same.
We don't know yet.
We don't know yet for some reason, even though they're not in jail, which they should be. So this new slate, starting with, next up is Shazam! Fury of the Gods. That comes out next. And that is still part of the core DCEU, which is what's been going on. And that leads apparently directly into The Flash. Timeline-wise, it's the same time, roughly.
Yeah.
After that Flash movie, we have our reset. Oh boy, into what is now the DCU. Starting with that, we have Blue Beetle coming in. James Gunn said Blue Beetle kind of exists on its own. Like it can work in the new DC universe, and that's fine. Which I am all for, keeping movies that already exist. And then we go from that to Aquaman, The Lost Kingdom. But I think this will be Jason Momoa's last. Which is weird, because if this comes out in the new DCU, it means he's still Aquaman. You know what I mean?
This is what we mean by it's a bit weird. They're not just resetting everything.
Because if they keep Jason Momoa as Aquaman, like after they said it's gonna be a reset, but he's still the same Aquaman, and Jason Momoa, they can't recast Aquaman again, even though they might want to do that.
But Momoa is also heavily implied that he might be playing Lobo. Now he hasn't said that specifically, but it seems like that's what's going to happen. Right,
which is a very pale-faced space bounty hunter who looks exactly like Jason Momoa. Maybe Aquaman Lost Kingdom will be somehow set, technically speaking, before the time change.
It could be. Who knows?
I don't know. And now, after this we are now in what is called Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters.
And keep in mind, this is not every single thing yet. They did make that clear.
The problem that sucks with that is you're moving Henry Cavill, who wants to be there still, but keeping maybe Margot Robbie, keeping maybe Jason Momoa. It's like, pick a side, either all or nothing, you know? I like some of the premise of it. I like some of the concepts. I think it's not a good...
To be fair, you think back to like Marvel, it's just like they start with like Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, and like, you know, if you don't know these characters, that seems like a very strange lineup. Like you would expect at that time, like Spider-Man, the X-Men, like the stuff that people know.
We're starting with Creature Commandos, an animated event. Basically, we have characters like Weasel returning.
Yes.
Which we have Rick Flag Sr. We have Nina Mazursky, Dr. Phosphorus, who's a Batman villain, Frankenstein, Eric Frankenstein, specifically. Then we also have the Bride of Frankenstein, who is the lead. And finally, we have G.I. Robot, who's not to be confused with Robot Man from Doom Patrol, which is also a canceled show. And this will be a series, so the first thing they're doing for the new Phase 1 is an animated show, which I think is a pretty bad way to start this all. But the core about this idea is it buys them time.
Yeah.
It gives them, because their first real movie coming out is Superman Legacy, which we'll get to in a minute, but that's not till 2025. So they have a few more, so they can put out some shows to help kind of fill the space with new content in the universe. And I get that approach. Like, it makes sense on a business side, but it doesn't make sense on a story side to me. But that's okay.
I think that Gunn and Safran deliberately made these choices for a reason. And obviously, we don't know what those reasons are. But if Gunn has proven one thing, he can take C to D-list characters, and put them into teams and make them compelling characters. He did it with Guardians, and he did it with the Suicide Squad.
That's why I don't want to see this. It's the same thing again. It's more of the same Gunn stuff.
Look, if he can do it, he can make it work. And again, we don't know what the show's going to be like.
Another show, we have Waller, a live-action HBO Max series with Viola Davis returning again, which I also don't wish...
This is also confusing.
Because Peacemaker's also coming back, which is also confusing, which is a direct reference to The Suicide Squad and to Black Adam with Harcourt.
The Justice League appear at the final episode. Well, not all.
Right, but Peacemaker is firmly in the DCEU.
You can twist it around so that way it works. And I think Waller is the same kind of deal, but it's still weird. And
so Waller is a way to bridge between seasons 1 and season 2 of Peacemaker.
I'm willing to bet that Gunn already had season 2 Peacemaker either fully laid out or was already writing most of it. But then once he became the head of DC, he's like, okay, I gotta put this on hold and I gotta rework it because of the reset and everything. So if he like fast tracked Peacemaker season 2, and with how everything's going, it wouldn't make sense at all.
But the first movie coming out is Superman Legacy, which comes after Waller. And this is intriguing to me. It's a 25-year-old reportedly Superman years, which is going to be our age that year comes out. We'll be Clark Kent's age.
That's fucking weird, man. That's fucking weird.
One of us needs to be cast, right?
I say me. I clearly have the physique for Superman.
Naturally. And this is really the launch of the DCU. This is really the first main big thing. It will follow on Superman balancing his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing with an already kind of established Superman, but again, he's like 25 years old, so he's not like super established. He's just like, I'm a young boy. I'm trying to be in the big city now. Hey, that's me. I'm Superman. That's actual script quotes, by the way. I'm not making that up. And that's July 11th, 2025. And then we get to have amazing stories like with, according to Gunn, we get to have villains like Gorilla Grodd and Joker in these kind of stories now. Why do you mention Joker? We know. But Gorilla Grodd will be in these stories eventually, Josh. We could have a big ape who is telekinetic.
Yes.
That's all I've wanted in life. But we get to see an actual hopeful, kind Superman that no one can debate in this version. The goal of Superman, I think, is to make sure that no one can debate his sincerity.
Yeah, because, and again, people...
I like Man of Steel.
But the 9/11ing of Metropolis is very hard. And I'm not wrong. I'm not the first to say that.
But you said it is now.
I'm aware I did.
But I like the idea of this a lot. I think starting with something like this. But I wish our next thing was not the next thing is called Lanterns. It's a live-action HBO Max show with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. Why is this not the next movie?
Well, I think it's just the idea that they had. Like, you could do it as a movie, but again, it's to give them more time for the movies.
We have heard of a Lantern show for like a decade now. The same buddy cop premise again and again.
All I'll say is that this is an interesting premise, and I'm very curious to see what it'll be like. And I've seen people complain that, like, why is this not like a big space operatic thing? I'm like, have you seen the HBO Max, like, Titans? Have you seen their budget for effects? It's not good. They don't have Disney Plus money.
That's why it shouldn't be HBO Maxing. It should be an actual movie.
Again, it could be... there's probably a million factors that we don't know. It could be scheduling thing, could be with all the other stuff going on. They probably don't want to, put too many movies in theaters at once, put too many shows on at once.
Also, they could use this as a way to introduce the idea of Lanterns to general audiences and then have a Green Lantern movie not long after to actually have one of them have a lead story.
Oh, I imagine Green Lantern, is going to get his own movie, whatever version it is, because it's... Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. I was about to say Hal Stewart, but that was from Megamind.
I think we're going to get a Jon Stewart Lantern movie and have this be a way to introduce him and his dynamic.
Oh, yeah.
Next thing that really confuses me, because I like this idea for like 5-10 years later, and that's the Authority. If you're unaware, they are a deconstruction of the Justice League, aka a team that's not formed yet in this world.
Well, given the reset, I would imagine the Justice League maybe exists to a degree, but
maybe. But I wish we actually had an actual form. Got to watch the version of the Justice League forming for the first time.
Yeah.
But the Authority, Josh, has Apollo and Midnighter, aka gay Superman and Batman, and I am so excited for the entire world who hates Last of Us Episode 3 to watch this movie.
To lose their minds.
Yes! The idea of bringing in the morally gray Justice League before we see the Justice League is an odd choice.
I think, to be fair, that Gunn and Safran, know that most general audiences know just the Justice League, both from the theatrical version and the Snyder Cut, and then from the other versions as well. Obviously, I get what you mean by this version of Justice League we still need to see, but I think that it gets the point across that we know a Justice League and what they're supposed to.
I also don't know if I like the idea of having already established superheroes in this world yet. I want to actually see them start to form, not just all at once already existing. Paradise Lost, aka a Wonder Woman show without Wonder Woman.
The idea of exploring Themyscira before Wonder Woman, I think is fine. I'm curious to learn more about, the way of the Amazons and their world and everything.
I think these shows will be kind of like what the MCU shows should have been, and things that you can choose to watch but aren't at all essential. Like cool background and cool world building for this universe. Like this could be a cool thing about Themyscira, about this version of Themyscira, and understand Paradise Island, and get to know this version of these characters. And then you can watch the movies and get to know the cinematic version of these characters. I think this might be a good approach to have that balance of actually, you can watch this cool content of shows, but you don't need to watch any. You can just watch the movies. That's probably what it will be.
Yeah.
Because it is the past, and that'll be interesting. And next we have a Batman thing. This movie is called The Brave and the Bold, which boldly does not have Batman in the title for this movie.
Was it? What?
This movie is not called Batman the Brave and the Bold. It's just called The Brave and the Bold. Which is a interesting choice.
I know it's not going to be another Dark Phoenix situation because I know they're actually going to market this.
Yes, they will. But also, it'll be the first time we have seen Batman and Robin on the big screen together since the movie Batman and Robin. And no, I'm not counting John Blake from Dark Knight Rises.
What do you mean? He's the best Robin!
This Robin they're choosing is a choice. I wouldn't go with it. Damian Wayne, who's a cool character, but his introduction is a dick. I don't mean Dick Grayson. He's an asshole. He is the worst little child on earth who's a ninja assassin and wants to cause murder and is an awful human being until later in the run where he gains more, humility. But that takes a long time.
I love him in the Harley Quinn show. He's played by Jacob Tremblay, and he's fantastic.
Is he actually?
Yeah.
So what's funny is that this is based on this is the new DCU Batman. So new cast, not Robert Pattinson, not Ben Affleck. They made it very clear about that. Batman Part 2 with Matt Reeves is still happening. But this is a story of Damian Wayne, who's Batman's blood son. But he's Talia al Ghul and Bruce Wayne's child, Damian Wayne, raised by Ra's al Ghul and Talia al Ghul in the League of Assassins, trained as an assassin, left to go find Bruce, his father. And then chaos ensued, and he became a little Robin boy. He is the youngest Robin to be pretty consistently a young boy for a lot of it.
Bruce saw this tiny little assassin that tries to murder everyone. He's like, I want to make him my sidekick. That'll end well. So
it's based on the Grant Morrison comic run, which everyone loves. The problem to me, the picture they keep using for this Grant Morrison run. Are you aware of what's in this picture, Josh?
I've heard it's Dick Grayson when he took over as Batman.
That's how Damian Wayne was pretty much introduced. Damian Wayne's first Batman was not Bruce Wayne.
I mean, again, we don't know. It could be Dick.
If the DCU's Batman is Dick Grayson, I will lose my mind.
If it happens, I don't think it's going to be a permanent thing.
Well, that's the thing, is that Dick would be roughly the same age as Superman in this world. If Damian exists, they've already had Nightwing, Red Hood, Red Robin. Well,
they did announce, you have it on the thing, it's either a show or movie about the Bat family. So these other characters like Nightwing, Tim Drake, Batgirl, it's going to happen.
What you're referring to is actually this movie. This is going to feature other members of the extended Bat family.
But yeah, so it's established that, they've existed before.
Right. So how old is Bruce? How much older is he than Superman? That should not be a big age gap.
Look, they're going by comic logic. Even though Dick is the same age as Bruce is still 30-something.
It's nonsense. It doesn't work in film that way. I'm fine with Damian being a main Robin, but not if Superman is 20. It means you have to have an older Batman. And they got rid of having an older Batman twice.
Fine. Bruce and Talia hooked up when he was 18. Batman's the same age as Superman, so Damian is 5.
The natural order of things.
All the Robins are still children.
I wish but the idea, I think part of this is it saves Dick Grayson for the Batman Part 2 or 3.
Yeah. Again, they're clearly making these choices for a reason. And again, this is similar to comics, with other universes in Elseworld. They do things differently in them for a certain reason. And this is, they're doing it again for a certain reason.
Next up on the list is a Booster Gold HBO Max live action series. He's a loser from the future. That's his whole shtick. He's a wimp. From the future. He's pathetic. There's nothing really cool about him. He has a huge ego. He pretends to be cool. He can time travel back to the past, and he brings futuristic technology to kind of pretend to be a superhero, and then stumbles in to being a superhero. and his best friend is Ted Kord, aka the original Blue Beetle, and I think that's fantastic. It's Imposter Syndrome, the movie, the character. And he is a loser. He's so funny and stupid, and I love him. But again, this would not be my chapter 1 of the DCU. So many of these choices are not the best starting place. A lot of people, I think the general public, does not know Dick, Tim, Damien, Jason. If I ask my mom, they're all just Robin. So starting with Damien feels like a weird place to start with that. And it's similar with like Booster Gold to me.
Well, I think that this is kind of what Gunn Saffron want to do. They want to, obviously establish, the big ones like Superman and Batman that people know, but also explore them in ways that haven't been explored before. So you have, Damian show up. And like most general public have absolutely no idea that Batman has a biological son and that he's a Robin. And of course it's going to explore the other Robins as well in the movie. But then you have, complete randos like Booster Gold that are getting, a movie, and then like Swamp Thing. Again, like general public doesn't really know them. So they want to do the weird stuff and they want to do the normal stuff and like really show people what DC is.
And next up on the list is Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, a comic which is basically a comic that came out like this past year. That's so fast for a turnaround time. Good job.
Must be pretty good then if it caught Gunn's attention.
Like 2021 to 2022 was the run. That's it. 8 issues. And it's a wild ride. Basically, it's just Superman who's sent to Earth, raised by Martha and John, Kent, and Kara, his cousin, was still on Krypton in a piece that drifted away from the planet during the explosion, basically. And she lived there for the first 14 years of her life in a horrible situation where she watched everyone around her die. So she's much harsher and more fucked up Supergirl than you're used to thus far. So if you're used to Melissa Benoist, it's not that. She's like Joel Last of Us, but a Supergirl in an alien planet.
Cool.
And that's like that to me can work really well. To end off our Gods and Monsters Chapter 1 thing right here is Swamp Thing, a show they just canceled, by the way, not long ago.
Okay, I remember that whole thing. They canceled it before it even premiered.
Yeah, which is stupid because that Swamp Thing looked fantastic. And so Swamp Thing, I described my girlfriend as a big carrying swamp monster, and she said, "So Shrek? No, not quite. It'll be
He's
totally
more like Fred from Werewolf by Night."
Yeah, but she's not seen that either. So it's dark origins, it's creepy, it's mythic, and I do think the idea of introducing some of the weirder parts of the DC universe early on can be helpful. So something like Guardians wouldn't be as jarring, like Nat, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But to get a Swamp Thing movie or show before like a Wonder Woman, an actual Flash that's not part of the weird reset stuff, a Flash movie that's not a Flashpoint movie with 3 Ezra Millers.
Again, I think this goes back to like they know that like people have already gotten stuff like that already, and of course they're going to do new versions. People already have gotten these, so let's give them something new. And they're obviously doing this for Superman and Batman. They're the big figures of DC, but to give them a version they haven't seen before and to really establish how different they are.
This is our DC Chapter 1 Gotham Monsters slate, Josh. What do you think overall? Yay or nay?
I'm going to give it a yay. I think it's interesting. I think they're going to be taking big risks with these choices. I think that I'm very curious to see who they cast in these roles. They've already gotten some great writers to work on these. James Mangold apparently is in talks to make Swamp Thing. Fine by me. He's a great director. And I'd be very curious to see him go horror and do creepy stuff.
So James Gunn, if you listen to this, because you clearly are, I am not critical because I'm mad at you, or because I think it's, or I'm not critical because I think it's bad. I'm mostly confused, and that's why it comes from. And I think it's a very interesting and odd choices. I'm giving a tentative nay for now. Again, it can be blown away. I think once we see the other half of this slate, it would help of this Chapter 1.
He could be holding it back for a reason.
Yeah, maybe the next movie is Justice League.
Maybe. Who knows? Swamp Thing, Booster Gold, Superman, Batman, Weasel.
No, the next movie is Black Adam 2.
But not Dwayne Johnson, but Vin Diesel instead.
Yes, also not Egyptian. the natural progression.
Oh.
Also, James Gunn, and I'm not mad at you. So please, let me make Nightwing the movie, please, or play Nightwing. I can get buff. I can be a gymnast. You don't know. My dream is to like make a Nightwing movie. So like, hear me out. Me and Josh make some weird shit for you.
I'll make weird comedy shit then, and just let me do that.
Anyway, that's our show somehow.
It's been different.
But Josh, what do you think of Gods and Monsters and the news of the Oscars and of The Last of Us? Everything else that's happened we discussed.
It's been a weird 2 months to say the least, and just the news, there's been a lot of it. A lot good, a lot bad.
We're back, baby!
We are back, baby!
And next episode is our year in review, which it's a little bit delayed, but I had to catch up on some movies and shows and stuff, so
yes. It's
fine.
Again, adulting, it's a bitch.
I moved across the country. I need a break from things. So next episode will be our year in review, and then after that is probably Quantumania and The Last of Us. It's my guess.
I think Last of Us ends in sometime in March.
Josh, where can people find you online?
I'm at places. I'm on Instagram, J_Rudy16, Twitter, J_Rudy28, YouTube at Josh Rudolph. I have not been able to upload for a while just because of work and everything. I have things planned, so be on the lookout for stuff in the near future.
Email the show. You can email the show at podgeekspeak@gmail.com or tweet at us with #GeekSpeakPod or at GeekSpeakPod on Twitter. I am on TikTok and Instagram at ThatNerdTheater, or I'm on Twitter at TheTheaterNerd. You can tweet at me and just call me a dumb bitch because I know it's true. And you can stay tuned for Josh, who's making another movie soon.
I'm filming it tomorrow. I should be in bed.
But we had a job to do, so we did it.
You're damn right we did.
Goodbye, y'all!